Well, good morning, everybody. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving this morning. Hope you all have a lot of good stuff to eat. Everybody has food that they like for Thanksgiving, and it's Cowboy game day this Thanksgiving, as it is every Thanksgiving. But first, I want to touch on a little bit. I'm a little late getting on here, but the Cowboys thrashed the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota last week by the score of 40-3. And that was as close to a perfect game that I've ever seen the Dallas Cowboys play in a long time. Uh, Everybody contributed. Dak was spraying the ball around to multiple receivers. And it was a Tony Pollard show because Tony Pollard scored 2 touchdowns on receptions, and Dak was on target. His balls were right on target, and it's looking like everything for the Cowboys is going gelling together, and hopefully they can keep that up today against the New York Giants. We play the New York Giants at home today. The Red Kettles will be in the end zone for when the Cowboys score a touchdown. I'm sure if Zeke scores a touchdown, he's going to be jumping in the Red Kettle because they don't get fined anymore for doing that as they did the first time he jumped in them. But yeah, it ought to be a good game. Hopefully the Cowboys can do like they did last week and rise to the occasion and play a flawless game. They didn't have many penalties at all in that game, and my keys to the game came to fruition. Everything I said that they needed to do to win that game, they did it. I mean, it was just a perfect game by the Cowboys. Kudos to Mike McCarthy for having them ready, and the running game was under control for the. We stopped the run pretty much for the Vikings. It got to the point where every time Kirk Cousins faded back, he was running for his life. I mean, we were just on him. They couldn't stop us. Their left tackle got hurt and had to come out of the game, and the Cowboys took advantage of every little inch of that they could. But there's lots of signings going on. The Cowboys signed defensive lineman Tack McKinley, who was formerly with Atlanta, to the practice squad. But I think they're going to elevate him for this game because several of the Cowboys have a illness going on, and a couple of them may not play. So we'll see what happens there. If Tack McKinley can be his former self and better, play better than he had before with these last few teams he's been with, I'm hoping he can help out the Cowboys. Sometime a change of scenery will do somebody good. But Zeke had a decent game coming off that knee injury last week, and he's questionable, but I think he's going to play today. The word on Tyron Smith and James Washington, they will be activated sometime soon after Thanksgiving and begin their preparatory window to come back and play with the Cowboys. Anthony Barr is not going to play in this game. He's still fighting that injured knee that he has. But the Cowboys were an angry team in that last game when they lost to the Green Bay Packers. And they knew they should have won that game. They had them. They didn't put their foot on their neck. And they were up by 2 touchdowns. And they let the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers with a broken thumb come back and beat them. So that wasn't good. But if we could have won that game, we'd really be sitting pretty right now. The Eagles like to lost another game. They've already lost one. They like to lost the game last week. Against Carolina, they lost. They only won by 1 point. So the Eagles look like they're kind of faltering a little bit, and hopefully the Cowboys can move up and overcome them and take the division. But the Cowboys also signed a wide receiver Antonio Callaway to the practice squad. His best year was 2018, where he had 586 yards and 5 touchdowns. He had a lot of personal problems on some of the teams that he's been on, but he has the talent, and I guess the Cowboys just picked him up for insurance in case somebody gets hurt. I don't know if they'll ever elevate him to the 53, but we will see. And the OBJ watch, Odell Beckham Jr. is still uh, looking like it's down to two main teams that are in the running, the Cowboys and the Giants. And guess what? They both play today, so you know OBJ is going to be watching this game. If the Cowboys win this game convincingly, I think he's going to rather be with the Cowboys. I just hope that the Cowboys can get the money situation right with him. It figures that he'll make, if he comes back in the next couple of weeks, he'll probably make at least $5 million for the rest of this year. Word is he wants $20 million a year for future years. So, hey, we got rid of Cooper, who was making $20 million, and OBJ should be better than Cooper. So hopefully they'll at least give him $20 million a year. A lot of the Cowboy players have been talking to OBJ and kind of letting him know that they want him on the team and that he's welcome with open arms to come to the Cowboys. It remains to be seen what Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones are going to do, because you know Stephen Jones does not like to spend much on free agents. But in this case, if we could land Odell Beckham Jr., I think that would get us closer and closer, even closer to the Super Bowl. But in that game against the Packers, I wanted to touch on some things. We got away from the Cooper Rush game the way, you know, we did again when Cooper Rush was in there. The game plan we used when he was in there, we got away from that. We passed it way too much. We got away from the run. When we had the lead, we didn't run the ball hardly at all. We just gave that game to them, man. It was just unbelievable. Our secondary couldn't cover a blanket. It couldn't cover anything. And Anthony Brown got hurt, had a concussion, had to come out of the game, and we had Boss Man Fat. That's right, Boss Man Fat came into the game, and we all well know he's not as good as Brown, and he had a few issues in there. But yeah, that was rough. That was hard to watch, but they did bounce back convincingly against the Vikings. There was a holding penalty when the Cowboys got the ball and were trying to drive it down the field, and they didn't call that penalty. They call penalties when they should sometimes, and sometimes they don't, which that's the way it is. You know, you win some, you lose some, so really can't cry over that. But Dak just has to win that game. I mean, that just boils down to he has to, if he's going to be an elite quarterback, he has to lead that team down the field and get a touchdown, not a field goal, a touchdown. If we just scored a touchdown, we were right there. He drove them 3/4 of the way down the field. But when it come down to that 3rd and 3, we passed it. I think we should have ran it because we were running the ball fine. The last 2 downs, 3rd and 4th down, we should have had running plays called because Tony Pollard could have picked up 3 yards, I know. And we had 2 or 3 timeouts left. So that was mismanagement on the Cowboys' part. I blame that on the Cowboys. And one of the interceptions that Dak threw was CeeDee Lamb's fault. He didn't cross the face of the defensive back. He cut it upfield, and Dak thought he was going to cut across, and that's why it was an interception. But there's no excuses. If he wants to be an elite quarterback and get the monkey off his back, he's going to have to win games like that. And another thing, you know, we got to keep stopping that run, especially around the edge. They did a pretty good job against Dalvin Cook and the Minnesota Vikings last week, so hopefully the Cowboys can stop the running back of the Giants, Saquon Barkley, today. He's probably going to get at least 60, 70 yards, but if we can stop him from scoring or breaking a long run, that'd be the key. So the keys to the game, still the same, you know, get to the quarterback, run the ball, stop the run, and keep the penalties to a minimum. The Cowboys should come on top. I'm predicting that the Cowboys are going to win this game 28-14. That's my prediction. So, again, I would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Got the wife in there. She's in there cooking up the good stuff for us for Thanksgiving. And hope you all are having a great one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. And with that being said, go Cowboys. Let's get this one against the Giants. That'll be 2 wins in 4 days. So that's what we need. We need more wins. Look forward to it. Catch y'all next time. I'm out.